Happy Monday, Flosstube. It is Monday, September 9th, and it is just the best day weather-wise. Started out bright and sunny and cool, crisp, 9 degrees Celsius. We had the windows open last night, so it was just that perfect sleeping weather where it's cool enough that you need a great big cozy, comforter on top of you. It was wonderful. My name's Caroline. Welcome to my Flosstube channel. Thanks for coming to visit me. I'm glad you're here. I am wearing, you can't see it, so I'll just show you a little peek. I'm wearing my Crash Test Dummy shirt today. So thanks again, Ellen. I love it. I'm a big fan and I can't wait to meet you in real life. Okay, so I told you my name. I didn't forget to, I wrote it down. Intro, don't forget. And then I wrote down, because I wanted to make sure that I said this at the very beginning of the podcast about Hurricane Dorian. The photos that are coming out of the Bahamas are unbelievable. The devastation that's happened down there and everywhere that's been hit by Dorian. Up here in Canada, Halifax, Dorian sort of blew through that part of our east coast, and I don't even know what to say about the devastation from the photos you see. There really aren't any words. I've been seeing a few fundraisers pop up, one in particular that I'm going to point out in a few minutes, in particular from Cocohamas. She has a pattern up for sale where the 100% of her proceeds of the sale of that pattern are going directly to the hurricane victims in the Bahamas. So I'm going to make sure that I link to that pattern in the drop-down box below, and after I'm done recording this video, I'm going to go and purchase a copy of that pattern myself. And I'll tell you how I found out about that pattern, because it links me to another something for me to tell you about. It was a big weekend for tennis fans. Anybody here a tennis fan? We have our very first Canadian Grand Slam champion, Bianca Andreescu. She won the women's U.S. Open tennis championship on Saturday, and just a little quiet Canadian hooray for Bianca, because what an amazing accomplishment. What a phenomenal year she's had. She's an incredible player, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of her. And then we had the men's final on Sunday, where Rafa Nadal took his 19th Grand Slam final, and it was a super exciting match. It went 5 sets, and Medvedev, did I say it properly? Medvedev, his opponent was, boy, did he ever put up a fight. And I mean, at so many points in the match, you thought that he was going to win it. And it was just a great weekend of tennis viewing, which meant some stitching happened. Not a lot though. I had a lot of other things going on, so sort of tennis was kind of on in the background, and doing a bunch of other things at the same time. But it sure was nice. Very fun to watch. So I have a finish today to share with you, but it's a knitting finish. And I shared this on the Fiber Friends podcast that we've just recently got up this weekend. So now I get to share it with you. So it was my first sock. Not the first sock I've ever knit, but the first sock of a pair I finished. So I showed this last Monday. I just had the toe to finish. So that is now done. I've got it on my fancy sheepy sock blocker, and I couldn't be more thrilled with how this turned out. As you can see, I'm wearing my good old favorite color again. It's the fall. It's time to put on my magenta. I've got like 4 of these, right? 3 or 4. No, I've got 4. I've got 4 of them. They're all like identical colors, but they're completely different. So, and I don't go clothes shopping a lot because I'd rather spend my money on stash. So if you watch me on this channel, you're probably going to see me wearing the same clothes all the time. I'm good with that. But yeah, time to bring out the old magenta again. It makes me feel good. I love this color. And Love the colors in this sock. So it's done. Second one is, I'm on the heel of the second one, so should be finished that. Who knows when. I'm not gonna, you know, I've learned, don't make promises about when stuff is gonna be done, because then I just disappoint myself. You guys don't care when I get stuff done, but I do. I care. If I say I'm gonna finish something at a certain point, then I don't get it done, it's like, oh, once again, didn't happen. So, you know, just gonna be a little easier on myself, and the sock will get done when it gets done. All right, so I have a new giveaway this week because it's Monday. We all need a little chipper, cheerful thing to start our week with. Last week's Because Monday giveaway was a Brittany Designs Welcome to the Homestead pattern. And these giveaways happen on our Facebook group, which is Friday Off the Grid. You can find us over there. And I always post the giveaway pattern on Monday, usually Monday evening, and you can leave me a comment below that photo to be entered in the draw. I had 112 comments, and number 90 was what the random number generator chose, and so the winner was Adina Salmansohn. So congratulations, Adina. I'm going to get this pattern out to you. Before I show you the new Monday giveaway, just a quick note about giveaways. I am a little bit behind, as I always am. That's no surprise to anyone, but I have actually penciled in Wednesday morning as my time to sort of deal with all of those little admin things that need to be taken care of. So if you have not received Because Monday giveaway, or I think I have one high tea prize, the most recent one, to go out, and a few other, you know, these weeks, they fly by. So I have them all in their own special little Because Monday giveaway high tea drawer, and the bag sets, that's right. Of course, the high tea giveaway, there's 3 bag sets to go out into the world. Those have to get out as well. I'm hoping to get those out by the end of this week. So Wednesday morning is my time that's been scheduled in to address all the envelopes, package all the giveaways, and get them out into the world. So thank you for your patience. So that leads me to today's giveaway. I have a really super cute Kit and Bixby pattern. It's called Mrs. McKenna's Farm. So this, I love it. It's got sheep and a farmhouse. I mean, how cute is that? Isn't that cute? And I love this checkerboard border. I think that is adorable. It does call for a fair number of threads. I'll show you the back. There's quite a list of threads, but it's charted for, yeah, it's charted for DMC. So even though it's a big list, it's not like it's charted for specialty threads with no conversion. So if you win this pattern, you'll be, you've got a nice handy DMC list there. And it's adorable. Those sheep, I love those sheep. Can you see their little faces? They're so cute. School's back in, and I'm recording at lunchtime. So that's when we always hear the principal come on over the loudspeaker. I couldn't tell whose name she was calling there, so I don't think I have to worry about editing that out. Some of you may remember there was one episode where the principal called my son over the loudspeaker to come to the office, and I was recording during the time, and I'm like, why is my son being called to the office? Turns out my husband was picking him up to take him on a Meals on Wheels delivery. So it was for a good reason. He wasn't in trouble or anything. But I had to edit the sound out because you could hear his full name. And also it sort of threw me for a second because my son doesn't usually get called to the office. Anyways, side note. Okay, so I told you about the new draw. Oh yeah, I have a shout out. I have a very special shout out to do next. And this shout out is to a very good friend of mine. She is the daughter of, she is one of the children of family friends of ours who come and visit us once a year at the cottage. They live in Hong Kong, and they're expats living in Hong Kong, and once a year they travel to North America to visit family. The husband's family is in Canada and the wife's family is in the United States. And they have 3 children, and they are just the loveliest family. We are my family and their family, we're just very close friends, and it's always a highlight of our summer to get to be able to spend time with them at the cottage. And Nicholas he loves these children, and you know, there are usually always tears when we have to say goodbye at the end. So my shout out today is to Dulcie. Dulcie is one of the 3 kids, our friends, and Dulcie has started watching my channel. So Dulcie, a special hello to you. Your mom told me that you've been watching the show, and that just thrills me to bits. I hope your knitting is going well, and remember, if you've got any questions, get your mom to, you know, we'll connect on maybe Instagram, and if you have any questions, you can send me a picture and I'll help you out if I can. Okay? So Dulcie, thanks for watching, and we miss you guys a lot. Okay, so next up, I have my list. Sticking to the list. And I definitely did not want to forget to say hi to Dulcie. So I'm actually going to talk about purchases next, because this purchase that I made is kind of the coolest thing. And I know for a fact that many of you are going to flip your lids over this. So I was enabled on Instagram by Stitchy Lyon, who I got to know through Instagram when she won one of Claire's giveaways, www.celtichobbies.com. You may remember Claire offered 5 weeks of giveaways on this channel, and Stitchy Lyon, at Stitchy Lyon, was one of the winners. And so I started following her Instagram feed, and so it's because of something that she posted that I thought, well, doesn't that look like something that I can't resist? So Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts has come up with a stitching book club, okay? The very first inaugural book of the Stitching Book Club is Pride and Prejudice. One of my favorites. So it's just come out. Yesterday was the day that it launched. So this is the homepage, okay, of the book club part of it. Now, she has released part 1. If you have not seen this and you've signed up for the Stitching Book Club, or you don't want to see anything and you don't, because it's a mystery stitch along that goes along with this book club. The first part of it, it's a 3-part, and it's going to happen over 3 months. I'm doing a terrible job of introducing this because I'm so excited about it. So I'm going to show you the first part, the picture of the first part. If you don't want to be spoiled, if you don't want it to be spoiled, then just flip ahead a couple of minutes. Not even, like 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds, because I'm just going to flash it and then I'll move on, okay? So just hit the skip ahead button. Are you ready? So here's part 1. Netherfield Park is let at last. I mean, come on. Right there. Like right there. The most iconic, you know what you're reading. You know what you're watching. Netherfield Park is let at last. I am so excited about this. Now, probably in typical Caroline fashion, I'll be done like 10 years from now. That's okay. I'm so excited about this idea. Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts, and I'm sorry I don't know your first name. You've got my money just for the idea, because this is genius. I love the book. I think your design is, I said I would only flip it up there for 10 seconds, didn't I? So what I'll do is underneath where I was talking about it, I'll edit in that you may have to skip ahead to 2 buttons. You know, ding, ding, right? 2 buttons, you know what I mean? It was a 3 coffee morning. Surprised I'm not talking a little faster. I'm so excited about this, you guys. I haven't chosen fabric. I only just saw it yesterday and I couldn't buy it fast enough, basically. So I haven't even fully read the entire thing. I was so excited about it. So recommended fabric count is either a 28 count Lugana or a 14 count Adina. Now this was cool. She actually has a video up, Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts, and I'm going to put a link down in the box below that will link you directly to the video that she put out that talks about this, because I thought she did something really, really clever. Because she had tagged this as a book club on Instagram, she had a bunch of people interested in learning how to cross stitch, like asking her, do you think that this would be a good first project? I've always wanted to learn how to cross stitch, and this looks really cool, and I love the book, and can I join in too? And so she actually, Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts, actually designed a learn to cross stitch stitch along for this book club. So she's got 2 versions of this. She's got a learn to stitch, Pride and Prejudice design, and it's adorable. It's adorable. Like if I was just learning how to stitch, I would want to learn how to stitch with that project because it's adorable. And then she's come out with the stitch along for people who already know what they're doing. So hats off. Hats off. I mean, this is an incredible idea, and she's already got the next books planned out for the next, she said the next year of book club, stitching book club. Stitching book club. I can't even. So I barely have time to listen. I said that badly. I have 1 book that I'm currently reading in book form because it's one that I really wanted to read in book form, and that's a Jodi Picoult novel, Small Great Things. So good. If you haven't read it yet, I'm halfway in, and it is it's a phenomenal read, and I highly recommend it. And it was recommended to me by Letitia Beckett, the crafty curator. So the Pride and Prejudice, I've read it, I've listened to the audiobook version of it, and I have watched all of the different versions of the different movies. So, but I do want to listen to it again. I want to follow along with the book club. However, I don't have time to read a physical book. So what I'm actually going to do, and this is a little shout out for a wonderful site and wonderful podcast, like truly wonderful podcast, if you're into classic literature. And I've mentioned her before, but I know lots of people won't have watched those, 100 episodes ago or whenever it was. Craftlit. And I'll put a link in the drop down box below. Craftlit, and it's all one word. Capital C, capital L, craftlit.com. You can download her podcasts on iTunes. They're totally free. She has a Patreon site as well that you can, sign up for extra books and extra things like that. Pride and Prejudice was one of the first books that she ever did years ago. And so I'm actually going to see if I can find those files, if I can find that book done through Craftlit, and I might re-download those and listen to the book with Heather again. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, the audio files from the person reading the book aren't that great. Like there's not like the reader is good. It's the actual audio files of the book weren't stellar. But Heather, the host, she's worth listening to. Even if the audio files of the actual book are subpar, I would listen to it just for Heather and her discussion of the book, because she is a phenomenal teacher, and her voice, you could listen to it all day long. She's amazing. Amazing. So 2 shout outs, Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts, Stitching Book Club, I am a proud member, and Craftlit for audio podcasts. Phenomenal. So that was my purchase. I may have also purchased a couple of patterns from Michelle Bendy Stitchy, but they haven't arrived yet. I only just ordered them on the weekend, so I will share those with you. next week. Other than that, my wallet stayed in my pocket. So, it's time for whips. Time to show you my whips. But before I do that, I'm going to tuck in a little ad from YouTube here. Just a note about the ads. Ads on YouTube, they cover the cost because I make a small percentage of the advertising revenue from YouTube on the ads that run on this channel, as do any YouTube channels that you watch that have advertisements on them. YouTube pays us a very, very, very tiny percentage of the ad revenue, and that ad revenue that I receive covers the cost of all of the giveaways that I do. So if you see those ads and you just let them play through, you can mute them, you can, go and get a cup of coffee, and not everybody will get an ad. It's hit or miss in your area, or it's not in your area. It's if there is an ad that's available for you, because the ads are geared towards who is watching them. And that all has to do with YouTube's marketing and all of that malarkey. I have nothing to do with that. So I can't determine who gets an ad and who doesn't. Some of you will and some of you won't. But if you just let the ad play all the way through, that adds a few extra pennies to the YouTube creator, more so than hitting the skip button. And that money pays for all of the giveaways. And I appreciate it. It's a very small way that that you can help me. So thank you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a little ad in right here, and then I'll be right back and show you all of my stitching. Okay, so first of all, I did put a few more strands of floss into my twisted band sampler that I was working on Friday's Stitch With Me video. I'm not going to share it again now because I continued to work my way down that band. It doesn't look, it's like a little bit further down, but it's all exactly the same stuff. It doesn't look all that different. So I didn't bother taking it off the floor frame to share with you. However, I did have a very good thing to discuss about that project. I had a great question, and that leads me to mention that I am very behind in going in, and I know there's a couple of questions in there that I haven't answered yet, and I apologize. It's been a very full week, and I'm a little behind, and I'm sorry. That's another thing that's added to my Wednesday list, is to make sure that I go in there and make sure I double check all of the comments so that I haven't missed any questions. But there was one question that I did read, because I read everything as it comes in. I just don't have time at that particular moment to answer everything. Mary Jo left me a great comment and a really good question about the Twisted Band Sampler. I have converted the original, which is the rainbow colors, I've converted that to 4 different purples. You can see a photo of it on Friday's video, just the screen cap itself. You don't even have to watch the video. You'll see what I'm talking about. And she wanted to know, there's a lot more than 4 colors in that design. What the heck are you doing? She worded it a lot better. Words. Where are the words? She worded it very, very well. I did not. I worded it badly, and I'm continuing to word it badly. She asked, what are you doing? Because you've only got 4 colors. So what I'm doing is, and again, I completely copied this from my friend Audrey. I chose a gradient, okay? So medium, no, what was it? It was something like, I went from light to dark to the variegated and then back out again. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Makes sense, right? And then that's the pattern that I'm going to follow all the way down to the bottom. So I chose the color, I chose the order that I wanted the colors to go in, and then I'm doing color 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3, 2, 1, and then up and down. So you can do whatever you want. You can pick as many colors as you want. Letitia the Crafty Curator. She did an amazing version of the Twisted Band Sampler in completely different colors, more autumnal with, you know, oranges and reds and browns and not reds, but like rusts, and with a hit of blue in there that just, it's stunning. Her version is amazing. So, you know, if you just think about things a little bit differently and choose your own colors and think about how you want them to lie, how they play next to each other, you can come up with some really phenomenal stuff. Just amazing stuff. So thanks for the question, Mary Jo. And hopefully I answered that okay. So next up, I had a new start. I had mentioned last week I still haven't started my sampler, so I haven't been playing along with Sampler September yet, but I did serge my fabric. I am going to hopefully start Sarah Dutnall from the Scarlet House. I'm hopefully going to start that this coming weekend. The fabric is serged and ready to go. The other project that was my other high tea new start, I have finally started that. Now I've got the sample here to show you so you can see the whole design. This was designed by my friend Patty Brake from Newfoundland. Bee-You-tiful you. And this was the pattern that came in the Evertote summer kit. And so I have started my own version. My friend Robin stitched the sample, and I'd love to give her her work back. And I am stitching mine. So she stitched hers on a 14 count, very pale pink Aida. It's beautiful. Look at this little birdie. Look at that little birdie. And of course, the little bumblebees. They're adorable. So I started in the middle. And that's how far I got. I had 15 minutes last night, literally 15 minutes before I was, you know, my eyes were starting to close. This was all the time I had last night. But I got started, and I love this fabric. I've got that crease in the middle that I'm going to have to iron out from the back, but it's okay. So I started the tee. This is a 28 count hand dyed by Patty Brake herself from 4 Boys and Newfoundland Girl, 4 Boys and NL Girl.ca. She's from Newfoundland, she's Canadian, so it's a .ca is her domain. And she dyed this herself. It is a 28 count Brittany Lugana, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So there was a bit of a panic. She thought maybe it wasn't wide enough. But I did measure it, and my measurements came out that I would have an extra inch on, like it'd be tight. I'd have only 1 inch on both sides. But I was okay with that because I plan on turning this into a tote bag for my niece. I can see it in my head, and it's, you know what I mean? You can see the finish in your head, and it's so cute. And so I'm excited to finish that for her. Again, I'm not going to tell her about it because then the pressure's on, and I don't know if I'll finish it in time for Christmas. But with only 1 inch, I thought, oh, it'll be a bit tight, but I should be able to make it work. But this is why I was going to show you this again. You can move these little motifs, right? I can swing this one down and bring it in a little bit, which would help here. This one could come over a stitch. This little bird here, he could come over a stitch. Everything here could move over just a stitch or two. This one here, I could move it down and I could bring it in just a little bit. You know, you could change those, you could easily move those little motifs around just a little bit. And I don't think it would affect the integrity of the design at all. It's still going to be adorable. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's a DMC floss in here that I am not familiar with. It's kind of sparkly, and I'm not sure you can see it. I've got the pattern right here. What was the number again? Where is it? Nope, can't remember. Okay, stand by. Okay, it's DMC E746. She calls it an off-white, but it is definitely an off-white, but it's got a sparkle in it. It's kind of yellowish actually. I'm wondering if Robin substituted something else. I'm not sure. She might have told me and I forgot. But I'm going to Stitch It Central on Thursday morning to meet my friend, Miss Patty. Remember Miss Patty? I have plans for Miss Patty for Flossmas 2019. I have big plans for Miss Patty for Flossmas 2019. Miss Patty doesn't know about these plans yet. I look forward to getting her feedback on Thursday morning and see whether I can get her to agree to something. Oh, I'm excited already. So I think it's going to be fun. So anyways, that was my new start there. And I'm looking forward to getting more than 10 minutes into it. Next up, I have my, where did it go? Where'd it go? I knew it was here. Where'd it go? It's right behind me. Oh, and it's trapped. It's trapped in my chair. Okay, hang on. Just gotta move my chair a little bit. Okay. So I have this on the K's garage sales, man. I found this for $10. Now granted, it was a crafter and I knew she was having a garage sale, but still $10. This K's frame, lap frame, wooden lap frame, one of the original ones with the extender bars on the top, 10 bucks. 10 bucks. Canadian. Which is like, you know, $7 American. Ugh. Okay, so this is my, folks, sorry. Little House Needleworks Warm Winter Woolens. This one. Now, there's a defect on the photo. That little blobby thing there. It's not like an extra hoof on the sheep, the lamb. It's a defect in the picture. So, this is so cute. Now, it doesn't look like I did much, but it's teeny tiny stitching. So that's where I'm at. This is what I wanted to be able to finish on Friday night, and so this pile of snow, I love snow. I don't always love stitching snow because it's a bit boring, but I finished it. Now, Pemberley on Facebook asked, she said, your white stitches look so nice. How did you get them to look so nice? Yeah, don't be fooled. That's one strand over two. That's why it lies so neatly. Look, I'll bring it right up. You can see. Neat and tidy. So that's why it lies flat, because there isn't two strands to get tangled up with each other. There's just the one. So that's why it lays so neatly. I'm doing a few different colors than what the pattern calls for. The white that I'm using is actually Antique Lace by Classic Colorworks. And the green, oh my goodness, what is the green? Shutter something. Shutter. Also from Classic Colorworks, but I can't remember the name. I'm a terrible, terrible Flosstuber. I don't write anything down. It's over there on my chair. But what I'll do is, if anyone is really interested in which particular green this is, because I mean you could use any green you want, then I will happily let you know. The fabric, this is an R&R Reproductions neutral. I can't even remember the name of it again. Boy, I'm doing a good job today. It's just one of their neutral prints. You know, you could pick anything. This would look good. And it's a 40 count. So one thread over two on 40 count R&R. I think it's Barley. Rings a bell. Pretty sure this is Barley from R&R Reproductions. So yeah, my $10 K's frame. I love that. Because my Savon is on my other K's frame, and I tell you, this one was not $10. This K's frame was the one I bought for Sarah when she was a stitcher. Now she's not a stitcher anymore, so I inherited her K's frame, which I'm not even mad about. Because one day she'll stitch again. And there's my progress on Savon. This is by Landmark Tapestries and Charts. And I I love it. One of my favorite stitches. I gravitate towards it all the time. I might not stitch on it every day, but it's pretty close that I haven't, you know, put at least a couple of stitches in. So I did some more work on the fill-in there and over here. And then I worked on the borders going up here and on that side as well. So my needle minder from Lisa. Love it. And that's what I've been stitching. That's what I've been stitching. So I'm going to keep my twisted band sampler on my floor frame upstairs until that band is done. And then I'm going to switch it out for something else. I hope to start Sarah Dutnell this week. That would be really good. But we shall see. And that's it. So what are you stitching? What are you up to? Stitching all the things? I really want to start that book club piece. I really, let me look. I won't show you again, I promise. But Netherfield Park is let at last. Love it. Okay, so that is it for me for today, except for just a teeny tiny little shop update. You may remember I talked last week, I moved, actually no, I didn't talk about it last Monday, or did I? Can't remember. I know I talked about it on Friday. Now, this is a little crooked, so hold your hats. Is that better or worse? There, we'll see. I moved the shop last week from Etsy over to Shopify. So I now have my own shop powered by Shopify. I moved from Etsy for several reasons. I'm not against saying why I switched. The reasons were, you know, first of all, for expense. The fees were quite high through Etsy, and they seemed to always, you know, every time you turned around there was one other thing. You know, they would charge you a fee if you charged shipping. They would charge a percentage of the shipping fee that you would charge. They were always trying to encourage you to offer your customers free shipping. And then it got to a point where, and lots of you will have heard this already, you're either Etsy sellers yourself and are dealing with this, or have heard from other vendors that you purchase from who have talked about this issue with Etsy. They came up with a policy that was, and this is, you know, as far as I know, worldwide, because I know Silks for You also had the same, they're dealing with the same thing, and they're in Australia. We are expected to offer free shipping to, you know, when the order is over, not even, you know, if the order is like $35, I think you're expected to offer free shipping. But they don't, you know, which is fine for that sort of Amazon mentality, right? Etsy is supposed to be about small business, entrepreneurial hand makers, made by hand, products that are being made by people like me in their home, you know, not a huge manufacturing plant where, you know, you can eat the cost of shipping. And I don't think people are dumb, because if you're going to offer free shipping, nothing is free. If you're going to offer free shipping, then you're going to have to raise the prices on your product. So, and that's what they were encouraging you to do. Raise the price on your product and offer free shipping. And if you don't do that, we're not going to promote you in our search rankings. And that's what they've done. If you don't offer free shipping, you no longer will come up in their, you know, however you were ranked before. That's going to really affect people's business. I drive my own sales. I wasn't relying on Etsy to bring sales. But anyways, I disagree with that quite strongly. I think that that's not encouraging of you know, the people who use your platform that you purport to support. It's supposed to be a marketplace of makers, and that's not supportive of makers. So that was the biggest reason I switched. So I'm over on Shopify now. You can still find me exactly the same way, www.evertote.com. That will link you over to the shop. I now have the large oversized handled bags in there. They are one of a kind, so if you see a bag that you really like, they don't tend to stick around too long. So if you love it and you want it, it's there waiting for you. The other bag that I have to share with you today, I don't have this listed as of this minute that I'm recording this, but by the time this video goes live, I will have it listed in the shop. The reason I can't tell you, the reason it's not listed now is because I still have to do some fabric calculations on how many bags I can make before I want to have the listing live. But I showed you the fabric last week, and I now have the sample bag made of the medium flat cross-stitch tote. I will have a couple of large ones, large sets available as well. That's the fits an 11-inch square Q-snap. Are you ready? It's a Halloween bag. So it turned out super cute. Super cute. Look at the boots. The hat, the skull, and the crow, and the bat, and the cat, and the pumpkins. This was one of those fabrics that can drive you crazy because the words are upside down and right side up, and all of the motifs are right side up and upside down. So I tried to have one side of the bag at least that would have the words right side up. It's so cute. I love it. Now we've got that little very faint sparkly spider web on the bottom. Now remember, if you don't like spiders, I know I've just showed you the little ones on the bottom, but on the inside of the lining, you ready? If you don't like spiders, look away. We've got the creepy crawlies on the inside. So, ta-da! All right, and there is, if you don't like spiders, again, look away. I made a little spider notion pouch to go with it. So, I don't have a ton. I will not have a ton of these available. I might have 10. Maybe 10 of the medium, maybe 4 or 5, not even. I might only have 3 of the big ones. I'm not sure. That's why it's not listed yet, because I want to make sure I've got the calculations right. I still have to make a couple of wedge totes with the same combination, so I have to do some math. Could take me the rest of the afternoon. Struggle is real. So yeah, that's it. Evertote.com. So I've got some more sewing to do this afternoon. I had a little bit of a sale over the weekend. When I reopened the shop, I put everything, all of the bags that were in there, I put them in at 15% off. If you're interested in learning about, I don't put things on sale very often. So when I do have a sale, I always post about it on Instagram. I'm now also starting to use the Facebook page a little bit more. I'm trying. So you can find the shop on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook is Evertotes with an S, and Instagram is @Evertotes. And I always post, when I put the new bags in the shop, I always post an update to Instagram. So the people on Instagram generally know first when it's up. It's just the easiest way to do it. So that's it for me. I really want another coffee, but I don't think I should. So I think I'm gonna make some herbal tea instead. Did you see at the beginning when I showed the can of Diet Zero, the Coke Zero Orange Vanilla? That is so good. And I found it when we were down in Connecticut, when I was down in Connecticut with my dad, and I brought some home because we can't buy it here. We've got none of those cool flavors that you get down there, like the cherry vanilla and the actual cherry. We can't even get Coke Zero cherry here. None of it. So whenever I go to the States and we drive, I always make sure we stop at a grocery store on the way home and fill up. The other thing is Diet Snapple, the raspberry tea, Diet Ice Snapple. It's so good. So good. And then, so I bring it home and then I eke it out because I don't know when I'm going to get more. But it's that orange vanilla. So good. So good. And now I'm going to dream about it. But no, herbal tea. Herbal tea and water for the rest of the afternoon. And I'm going to save my last small cup for after dinner. Just gets me through that. Nicholas is starting bassoon lessons tonight. That's my exciting news of the day. He's 11 now, and he's a big 11. John and I are both giants. So Nicholas is also a giant, and he has big hands, and he's totally ready. When Sarah was just a little bit younger than him, we started her on the oboe, and it was a phenomenally great experience for her. I'm really lucky in that I know a lot of the musicians in our community, and we have a really great university program. I actually went to Western myself. I was in the music faculty there. So I know a lot of the professors that are there, and we've been very lucky. We had an amazing teacher for Sarah right from day one. She was with the university oboe professor right from day one, and he was amazing. And tonight we're starting Nicholas with the bassoon prof, who is also at Western. So Nicholas is just like Sarah, going to be following in her first footsteps and taking his music lessons at our local university with the teacher there. And he is the perfect teacher. He's funny. You know, he likes kids. He's a great teacher, and he's an amazing bassoon player. So Nicholas is beyond excited because we met the teacher, I'm going to say about 6 months ago. We had our initial meeting about 6 months ago and checked his size because he is going to start learning on a full-size bassoon, because you can get smaller instruments, but he's big enough that he's going to start on a full-size bassoon. But the teacher just wanted to wait 6 months or so just for a little bit, you know, a little bit more maturity, a little bit more preparedness for the responsibility of instrument care and practicing and all of that good stuff. So we're going to have our first lesson tonight, and I'm going to sit out in the hall with my knitting and my ear. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Anyways, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for visiting with me. Thank you for being my friend and leaving me great comments and questions and all of the good stuff. All of the good stuff. You guys are amazing. So I will see you on Friday for Friday Off the Grid, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Take care.